And good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Another Taco Bout It Tuesday, if you will. It is the regular fan show with your guys, Vinny Fredericks, Bruce Juno, here to recap a busy weekend in sports. Championship weekend across the NFL. NCAA basketball, as I should have turned the volume down on my side computer here. Let's try that again. We'll be recapping the NFL weekend. Maybe dive into a little bit of NBA. As Bruce, my Miami Heat are a joke right now. So believe me, I got some thoughts I could dive into on that. Some NFL coaching carousel news. It's a busy weekend, man, and we're gonna break it all down for you right here. The regular fan show by fans for fans. So we'll break it down for you the way the sports fans do. But without further ado, my guy Bruce Juno. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
No, we're doing good. We missed Friday because I did wake up till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it
It
happens.
happens.
Feels bad, but we move, we ball. We're not done. We're not
Exactly.
quitting.
Keep
Um,
moving.
yeah, but an exciting weekend. Um, Not one necessarily the way I wanted it to go, but it's the way it probably was portrayed to go for lots and lots
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah. Honestly, it was exactly what I expected. So we'll dive right into it because I'm assuming you're talking about NFL Championship Sunday, AFC
Man,
NFC Championships. We'll start with the early game, I guess, at 3:00. It was the NFC Championship, Eagles Commanders. Wow, what a game for Philadelphia. I mean, am I right?
yeah, it
They put up
was.
55 points. Most that's ever been put up in a conference championship game in NFL history. 7 rushing touchdowns. Just an absolutely ridiculous game from Philadelphia. I mean, Bruce, your thoughts? Philadelphia, just as bad of a game as it was for Washington, it was just as good of a game for Philly. And Philadelphia, for the second time in 3 years, headed back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I turned this game off after the third quarter personally, but it's just, props to the Eagles. They 55 points and 21 in the fourth quarter is wild. I mean, props to Jaden
Mm-hmm.
Daniels, props to that whole crew out in Washington making it this far. They really turned this program around, but I feel like the rushing game definitely hurt them. But I also feel like Philly's just yes, they have Saquon. Yes, they're just goaded. But I feel like their defense is really, it's really
Yeah.
brought their A game this season. Vic
Number one
Fangio,
defense in the league.
yeah, Vic Fangio coming in. The last season they were like the 30th scoring off defense or something, and this season they're like third scoring.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's insane. Will Shipley, 4 rushes for 77 yards.
Whoever that is.
It's what a game for Philly. Props to Philly. Like it was crazy. Yeah, defense stood their ground, but dropping 55 points, there's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah, exactly. And anytime when you give up 55 points, you're not winning the football game. I don't care how good of an offense you have. You're not putting up
Exactly.
more than 55 on any given Sunday. But for Washington, it was a great season. You can't help but be happy about where they ended up. Obviously, you would have liked to make the Super Bowl, but you have a rookie quarterback out there, new head coach. I don't think anybody in their right mind would have predicted Washington would be a win away from the Super Bowl, let alone in this game for a little bit. It was only a 14-12 game for about 30 seconds after that Terry McLaurin touchdown before Philly drove right back down and extended their lead once again. But yeah, great season for Jaden Daniels, probably being topped off with a Rookie of the Year trophy at the NFL Honors show. We'll see, but solid year for them. They'll be back. I'm not exactly sure what their main focus would be this offseason. Probably get themselves another pass catcher, maybe a consistent running back. Maybe they look defense after giving up 55 points. Maybe you got to look to the defensive side of the ball. That's the thing. They were 30th in the league in rushing defense going into this game. So
Yeah,
I wasn't anticipating a very tight matchup just because everything Philly did kind of worked in the opposite favor of Washington. Philly likes to run the ball, get Saquon going, see how that can open up the field and allow them to do more with the ball in their hands. Washington can't stop a nosebleed. I mean, they gave up 130 yards on average on the ground in the regular season. So with Saquon and the way he's been running in the playoffs, I'm surprised this was his lowest rushing yard total in the playoffs. But that's just because he only had 15 carries. They didn't need him to do too much. But the first play from scrimmage,
Yeah.
touchdown. From that moment on, with those first two drives, that told me all I needed to know about how this game was going to go. Washington has this highly calculated, meticulous 18-play drive to go 50 yards and get a field goal. They had to go for fourth and down or fourth and whatever 2 times on that drive just to get 3. Philly, one toss to Saquon, 60 yards, boom. 7-0.
It was crazy. It was to be expected. Let's be real. Saquon just is this season. Like if MVP didn't go to quarterbacks, obviously with Jamar out there too, like who knows? But his season is just insane.
It'd be Saquon. Yeah, I mean 2,000 plus yards. I saw he broke the record most 60-yard touchdowns from scrimmage in a season, regular season and postseason included. He now has 7. He broke that record by a man with the name of Jerry Rice, who had 6. When you're breaking any record that's held by Jerry Rice, you automatically gotta at least get, that puts your name in some conversations. And yeah, just a ridiculous game from Philadelphia. And this defense, man, they know how to turn the ball over. Forced 3 turnovers in this one. The fumbles that they were forcing, they're so good at those. What do you call those? Charles Woodson, punch them outs.
Dude, just the club.
Yep, they were hitting those at the perfect times on the kick return at the end of the first half, which really I think set them up to take over this game. I mean, they were up. Let's see, they were up by 2 possessions, but it was tight. It was a, let's see, as I can't tell what I'm looking at here. It was it was a tight game. It was 20-12 when that fumble happened with like a minute and a half to go in the first half. So Washington, we saw they were able to at least get 3 points up in 30 seconds to close out the half. But if they don't fumble there, they got a minute and a half, all these timeouts. They can drive down the field, get a touchdown, maybe tie the game going into the halftime. Instead, fumble on the kickoff return. Philly takes it right down and scores right after. And next thing you know, they're up 12 going into halftime instead of up, 1 or 0. So it was.
And that really allowed them to run away with it in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, because then they get the ball again to start the second half. They had 3 straight possessions without even having to give the ball to Washington. So it was a game of mistakes for the Commanders, and that's kind of what you expect from a team that doesn't have the playoff experience that Philly does. And the fumble by Austin Ekeler was brutal. Like, dude, you're on the ground. Just, I know you want to get extra yards, but dive forward or something. Don't stand up and have one arm on the ball, because then what do? Punch that thing loose immediately after and recover yet another fumble. So this Philadelphia defense certainly, showed out as to why they're number 1 in the league. And it's a good thing that they're facing a very good offense in the Super Bowl. Otherwise, they probably would have ran away with that as well. But Washington, great season. Philly, we can't discredit Philly. A lot of people were talking in the regular season that, they may have taken a step back. Maybe Jalen Hurts' arm isn't built to get them back to the promised land. But Jalen Hurts, to me, he proved everybody wrong in this game. He made some tough throws when he needed to, and I feel like he was learning as the game went on. Like at one point in the first half, he has A.J. Brown one-on-one with Marshawn Lattimore on the left side. He drops back, sees it, holds on to the ball a little too long, has to try to make something else happen with it, ends up taking a sack. Next quarter, same situation. This time there was a 4th down. Same situation, one-on-one A.J. Brown, Marshawn Lattimore. This time Jalen Hurts drops back immediately, tosses that thing up, lets his wide receiver make a play, and they go down and score on that drive. So Jalen Hurts, to me, also really, silenced some critics and proved that he can make these plays with his arm when he needs to. I know they ran for 7 touchdowns, but he did make some big-time throws when he was in a tough spot.
Yeah. Yeah. There wasn't many things that went wrong for Philly on Sunday. I mean, to be
They
honest,
did put up 55.
Washington, they threw some tricks out there. They had the fake punt. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
that
they,
was a
they
cool play to watch.
they tried to hang around after the first half, but I mean, just coming down to the fourth quarter, coming down the stretch, they couldn't hang. And I mean, that's all props to the Eagles, just offensively and defensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an overall impressive game, and Nick Sirianni, despite his criticisms that he may get, he's got the Eagles back to their second Super Bowl in 3 years, and the way that they've gotten it done, it's impressive. To me, they're playing best football you can play. They win the game in the trenches. That's why they're back in the Super Bowl. That's why they're such a dominant team. Their offensive line, one of the best in the NFL. Why do you think Saquon ran for 2,000 plus yards? And then the defensive line too. When you got big Jalen Carter up there disrupting plays at the defensive tackle position, and all these other guys on their defense, even without Nakobe Dean, who got injured against the Rams, they find ways to bottle you up. And this Eagles team, I'm not surprised to see them back in the Super Bowl. I think a healthy Lions team was the only real competition they had, and obviously Washington took care of business with them. So
yeah, and I mean,
you can't really.
I was just
go
gonna
ahead.
say
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say like Landon Dickerson, he was hurt during that game. Jalen Hurts obviously is, he's dealing with that injury, but I feel like in 2 weeks' time, like that won't even be affecting him, especially because it'll be good to have Dickerson back. It'll be good to have Hurts just completely, healthy going into the Super Bowl.
Maybe get Kenneth Gainwell back.
Exactly, but I feel like they proved that doesn't even matter. Like after Dickerson went out hurt, they did better.
Yeah. Well, they had him and Cam Jurgens splitting snaps, even though both centers were hurt. Jurgens had a back injury, and I think Dickerson had a knee injury, and they're both on the sidelines in pain, swapping back and forth. And they both showed no quit. And despite being not 100%, they were the best players out there to step into that role. So they just like the Chiefs kind of do. They find ways to win despite, whatever adversity they may face. They continue to find ways to win. And like I said, not too surprised to see them back in the Super Bowl. As much as it pains me being a Dallas Cowboys fan, it's absolutely heartbreaking to see them in the Super Bowl again. But I'm still one to tip my cap and respect greatness. They have a great team and they deserve to be here. So here's to hoping that Kansas City Chiefs can defeat them in 2 weeks' time. But speaking of those Kansas City Chiefs, in a game that always seems to live up to the hype, Bills Chiefs Part 4. Does Josh Allen finally get the job done? He had a chance late in this one, and he goes 6 plays for 17 yards and a turnover on downs. Bruce, Kansas City Chiefs back in the Super Bowl for a chance to make history and go for the three-peat.
Yeah, I mean, they've been gritting it out all season. They lost Rashee Rice early. They they haven't had really a weapon that's like their go-to guy, but they've been doing it all season. They've been winning close games. They won that close game on Sunday night. When it came down to the stretch, they brought the blitz. 4th and 5, brought the blitz. Josh Allen just had to throw it up, and Kincaid just couldn't come down with it. I mean, it was a gritted out game. Xavier Worthy stepped up. I personally feel like Xavier Worthy stepped up. He's kind of becoming that wide receiver one that he has potential to be, being the fastest man in the NFL.
Yeah, that helps.
But I feel like a lot of just not loss of possession, but like the Bills were letting the ball get on the ground a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be
they had
Josh
3
Allen,
fumbles
I think
that they had to
Davis
recover.
had one. Yeah, like they. I feel like I don't remember them
they had
losing
4.
any.
Josh Allen had 3 fumbles alone. Yeah, like you said, Ray Davis with the 1, but none of them lost, so they got the ball back. But those are big plays that kind of kill your momentum when you're driving down the field and it's say 2nd down or something, and you botch the snap, have to dive right on it. Oh, now you lose a few yards and now it's 3rd down. I mean, those plays, despite not being turnovers in the box score, they're real momentum killers.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like they were leading going into the fourth quarter. The Bills were, and everyone knew this was going to be a close game. Like no matter how you looked at it, it was always
Yep.
going to be close. Chiefs undefeated at home. Chiefs best record in the league, and Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid did it again. And
Yeah.
Mahomes with 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yep. Yeah, he was getting it done with his legs too, and that's where I think you see the real difference in coaching between Andy Reid and Sean McDermott. Not that Sean McDermott is a bad coach whatsoever. He's not going anywhere. He'll bring the Bills back to the same situation next year. They'll be back ready to compete with the Chiefs or the Ravens or whoever they face in the playoffs. But Andy Reid and oh my, I can't believe I can't remember the Chiefs offensive coordinator right now. Um, the game plan that they have with Matt
What did
Nagy.
you say? Sorry, you cut out for me.
Oh, my bad. Hopefully it didn't cut out for everybody. The Chiefs, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, the offensive
Oh,
coordinator.
Matt Nagy.
Um,
Yeah.
this is where you see the difference in coaching because you look at that last drive. The Bills have a chance to get a stop and get the ball back, and what do? Second down, they run a play action bootleg and get Mahomes out in space. Third down, same story. They know Buffalo's expecting a run, so what do? They send the backup running back Perrine on a little flat route to the left side. Let Mahomes roll out that way. He's wide open for the game clinching first down. So, in the Bills, for me, that last drive when they had a chance down 3, why is James Cook not even on the field? Why is he not
Yeah.
touching the ball? I mean, the guy was averaging over 6 yards a carry, 16 yards of reception. So he's averaging over 8 yards a touch. And for whatever reason, you don't have him out on the field on the biggest possible drive. For me, I think that Joe Brady and Sean McDermott were thinking, like, this is Josh Allen's moment. Let's put the ball in his hands, give him an opportunity to lead us here to win this game. And I don't know if this might be becoming a mental thing for Josh Allen at this point that he can't get over Mahomes. Like this,
Yeah.
you looked at him on the sidelines. It looked
Uh,
like he had some fear in those eyes.
Yeah. I mean, I think part of it too. I don't know. I feel like the play calling changed when the Bills got to the playoffs. Yeah, you brought up James Cook not on the field, but like, think about the regular season. Josh Allen. They were using Josh Allen as a runner too. Like they were using him to
Mm-hmm.
run him 15 times a game for like decent yardage. Now I feel like they'll run him 4 or 5 times, but then the other yardage he's picking up is from like QB sneaks, tush pushes, whatever. Like he's
Yeah.
running 1-2 yards downfield. They're not using his legs as much this playoffs as I think they had all season, and I think that changing what your success has come from really doesn't help your progression, and that is why they yet again could not get over the hump that is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Mahomes outran the dude. Granted, they had the same amount of carries, and Mahomes had a few extra yards, but the 2 touchdowns really, is the big story there. It's the first time in his career that Mahomes has had a multi-rushing touchdown game in the postseason. So, it's again coaching. They know what Mahomes can do with his arm, but they must have told him in the weekly practice or whenever it was that, listen, if you have a lane there, they don't want you to beat them with your arm. Just take that thing in, just take the
Yeah,
easy scramble, get in the end zone, get us 6 points, however you can. And it's honestly, I feel for Josh Allen because the dude did everything he could in all of these games against the Chiefs. He balls in all these matchups. He does not have bad stats whatsoever. He has just as good of stats as Patrick Mahomes does. He honestly, I think he might even have less turnovers in the 4 games they faced in the postseason. But
yeah,
every year it's one of the same stories. I mean, if you can't beat, let's look at the last, few years. First matchup, okay. Bills weren't really there yet. Josh Allen's quite young. They didn't really, have what it takes to compete with the Chiefs at that time. All right. Second matchup. You have the lead on the Chiefs with 13 seconds left. If you can't beat the Chiefs with a go-ahead score with 13 seconds left, I don't care that they only needed 3 to force overtime. You can't beat the Chiefs when you're up by 3 with 13 seconds. You're never going to beat this team. And then year after that, Buffalo for the first time gets the 1 seed.
Buffalo.
They forced the Chiefs to come through Arrowhead. to come through Buffalo. And they still, sorry, folks, but we're a little tired today. I don't know what's going on. We're still waking up over here. I haven't poured my coffee yet. But last year, you forced them to come through Buffalo. You do your job. You get the 1 seed. You finally, put yourself in a situation where you have the advantage. Kansas City doesn't. They come into your turf and beat you in the divisional round and then go on to face Baltimore in the conference championship. You can't. I don't know what the Bills can do at this point to get past the Chiefs. And I'm feeling for them because it's kind of similar to say it's just like, Yankees Astros the last 7 years or so. Yankees 0-4 in postseason series against Houston Astros. It's like Golden State and the Houston Rockets when Harden and Curry were going at it. And Kevin Durant joins Golden State, and I don't think the Rockets beat that Warriors team a single time in a single series. So it's a rivalry with, quote unquote, but it's a pretty one-sided rivalry. The Bills just can't seem to get this chip off their shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. It's when will they be able to get over that hump, and they just haven't been able to do it yet. They've had the teams. They've had the talent. It's just they can't find a way to get past the Kansas City Chiefs, no matter what.
Yeah. And it's like they go out and improve. We saw it when they picked up Stephon Diggs years back. Didn't really work. And then you go into a game like this, and they really could have used this Stephon Diggs type or a wide receiver one, especially on that last drive. If you're not going to at least let James Cook touch the ball, that's where you want a star wide receiver one that you can kind of force the ball to, or if you see him one-on-one, you just give it to him and let him go out and make a play. They didn't have that, and not that their receivers played poorly. Matt Collins had a solid game, had 2 big catches for him. Khalil Shakir, another, great game, 6 receptions, 46 yards. But after that, Amari Cooper, all right, kind of a shell of himself now, getting up there. He had a decent game. Keon Coleman, man, 1 reception for 12 yards on 4 targets. I know he was a second-round pick, but he was drafted early second round. He was pretty much a round 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
They gotta, if they're not going to go out and pick up a new wide receiver, they got to look to Keon and say, listen, dude, we drafted you, pretty high for a reason. We want you to be the number 1 receiver. Go out there, be that star wide receiver that we know that you can be, and help us get back here. But obviously, young kid, need some growing time in the NFL, and I think he'll be a great wide receiver, throughout his career. But they need a solid number 1 guy to really lean on in situations like that. They could use another pass rusher too. I mean, I don't know what else they can improve on. Every year, this Bills team looks like one of the best in the NFL from top to bottom. In the trenches, they're good. Secondary, they're good. Skill positions, they're good. They just can never seem to get past the Chiefs, and I don't know what it'll take at this point.
They just, I mean, it really is. It's like, because they're on. I don't like. Can they go up from here? Yes, but at the same time, it's been time and time again that they get into these playoff situations where they should be winning these games. They have the talent, they have the team, they had the season, and they just don't.
They have leads. They have leads too. That's the other thing. It's they were up. What were they up? 21-10 or 20 to. They had a decent lead, or excuse me, it was Kansas City who was up 21-10. Then they get back into it with the late touchdown in the first half. So at that point, it's a 21-16 game because they try to go for 2. Don't get it. But they're in this game, and then they do exactly what they need to do. They force a stop to start the second half, go down, score, take the lead. And then what do? They force another punt on Kansas City. So now they have a chance with the lead, with the ball. And what do? They go out. They turn it over on downs and
they fluff it. Yep.
They certainly do fluff it. But granted, you can also look at, I don't know why my Siri just went on my computer here. That's awkward. Honestly, I'm not one to really pinpoint much on the refs, but you can make the case that some of those calls were borderline awful. I mean that one QB sneak by Josh Allen, that's a first down. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
when you got Gene Steratore even disagreeing with the officials, and he's a guy that I've hardly ever seen actually disagree with the officials of the game. He might say, well, it's close. I don't know here, guys. But no, Gene Steratore quite literally said he got that first down by like 3/4 of a football. And you got
Yep.
Tony Romo, Jim Nantz saying the same thing. He got that first down. I don't know in what universe that's not a first down, but and also like that Xavier Worthy catch, then maybe you could try to make a claim. Didn't look like a catch to me.
Yeah, it was that. First off,
there were some rough
crazy
calls.
Catch. That was a crazy catch, whether it be offensively or defensively. But the ball hit the ground.
Mm.
The ball hit the ground. They
Last
literally
I
went
checked,
back
if
and
the ball
reviewed it.
hits the ground, if you don't maintain possession while the ball's hitting the ground, last I checked, that's not a catch. But if anything, it could have been an interception for Buffalo. Like it honestly looked like it should have been. The defender, I don't remember what corner it was, but he's got two hands on that thing. I know Xavier Worthy got his hand up there, kind of like reeled it in, but Buffalo defender has two hands, like holding the ball on his chest. How is that not more possession than Xavier Worthy? I don't know. Like I said, I don't like to always chalk it up to the refs because I did think there were some calls that went against the Chiefs too that the refs made. Granted, they might not be in the as big of situations, but I didn't think it was an awfully officiated game besides those key plays, the Josh Allen sneak, the Xavier Worthy catch. Even I don't know how true it is, but people have been saying online that on that fourth down heave to Dalton Kincaid that just skimmed right out of his hands, that they were ready to throw like a phantom flag or something just to make sure that Buffalo didn't get the first. But I don't know.
Who knows?
It's getting to it's getting to a bad point with the way that somehow, some way, the refs always find a way to make plays for the Chiefs. Because now we talked about this last week, Bruce. We had Willie Anderson in the locker room after the Chiefs Texans game, going into it saying that he knew it was good. All of them knew it was them versus the refs. Then you got Troy Aikman talking about Mahomes and the way he knows he's easing up as he's going out of bounds to get that push and that unnecessary roughness. It's people are talking about it now. It's not just fans on Twitter ranting about the unfair calls that the Chiefs get. You have genuine people in the media talking about this. You have players
going out there.
Yeah, big time people with, very important opinions, very, heavy weighing opinions. And these guys are even bringing this up now. So it's like we're at a point where this is getting talked about so much to the point that either the NFL needs to come out and say or do something, or it's just going to keep on, or they got to just stop giving the Chiefs some of these calls. Or, you don't want to say go in and purposely, give the other team some calls to make it even, but I don't know. I'm genuinely curious if in like 30 years from now, we'll see a 30 for 30 on this Chiefs dynasty and find out that somehow like Andy Reid bought the NFL and forced them to give them all these calls. Like something shady has to be going on here.
NFL. What?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be some craziness going on over there. Maybe like
Andy Reid and Roger Goodell are siblings.
Yep. That's what it is. I don't know, maybe Brittany Mahomes found a way to convince Goodell to just give them all these Super Bowls. Sold her soul to the devil or something.
But who knows?
Either way, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. It's getting absolutely crazy. We're live on TikTok.
Oh, we made it.
Yeah, this is just I labeled it as a test run. Just for all the people out there, go follow us on TikTok. But
yes, sir, at the regular fan show.
At the regular fan show, not the regular fan show 2, because there's a regular fan show 2 out there for some.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
But yes, we are live on TikTok. I just all right. Quick little update. It's going to be tweaked because it doesn't look very good right now, but it is there. It's there, everybody. Anyway, back to sports.
I got to see this. I gotta see what it looks
It's
like on my
there.
phone.
It's there. Look great. I can confirm the TikTok stream does not look great, but it is there. But it is there.
We are there. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
tweak that.
it's
We'll make it all fit.
yeah,
We'll put like our boxes on top of each other or
yeah,
something.
I'll like go into TikTok Live Studio and I'll edit
Yeah,
how
we'll make it work.
how it goes.
But hey,
It's just
thank you, Bruce, for getting that all sorted out. I know you've been busy behind the scenes talking with your people over at TikTok. Oh, there's Tony in the chat.
yeah,
What's up, Tony?
yeah.
There's our boy. Tony, I'm curious what you got to say. If you want to hop in the chat real quick, Brian Schottenheimer, new Cowboys head coach, absolutely ridiculous.
Weird. Very weird. It's
Curious what
something
your
I
thoughts
definitely was
on
not
that are.
expecting to come.
Yeah, I know. We could dive into that more during the during some coaching carousel talk, but
Yeah.
yeah, of course, like we were saying, Chiefs get the oh damn. Yeah, Tony, breaking news. I guess that must have just broke for him. But yeah, Brian Schottenheimer got we'll just dive right in. We'll do some Super Bowl preview over the next couple weeks as we've got till February 9th for this game. We can dive into some coaching carousel here as I guess we'll start with my Cowboys, and for whatever reason Brian Schottenheimer has been promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach. And
the offense cooks, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
You mean the offense that had less. Listen, the Philadelphia Eagles, I saw this stat yesterday. The Eagles ran for 7 touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns against Washington in that one conference championship game. The Dallas Cowboys ran for 6 rushing touchdowns all season long. And they thought, let's promote the guy that led that to happen.
Dude, he's the man. I don't know what to tell you. Dude. You guys, watch you guys go 13-4 next season. Like, watch you guys just absolutely cook.
If that happens, I will issue a public apology to Brian Schottenheimer. I will put up a Brian Schottenheimer shrine in my room. Whatever. If he somehow leads this team to a win, because I'm expecting at best 6-11. Like, this team, you're looking at their schedule too. They do not have an easy schedule next year. Yes, you have the Giants twice. That should be a couple of wins. Yeah, lose first round of the playoffs. Honestly, Brian Schottenheimer is going to lead them, like you said, Bruce, 13-3 or 13-4, 14-3, whatever. And then they're going to lose first round in the playoffs too. I don't even know. They're going to lose to like the New Orleans Saints or some random ass team. But looking at the Cowboys schedule next year, their home games consist of Giants, Eagles, Commanders, Packers, Chiefs, Chargers, Vikings, Cardinals. None of those besides the Giants sounds like an easy win to me. Cardinals, okay, maybe can get that win if they can contain. You're right. They're going to lose first round to the Packers. That's what it is. Or the 49ers. It's going to be one of those two teams. But home games, I don't really like them in many of those.
The 49ers haven't looked good. Like,
well, yeah.
I mean, maybe it's like,
they were beat up.
Maybe it's because McCaffrey's gone.
McCaffrey was injured. Ayuk was
dead
injured
all season.
They had some injuries on the defensive front.
But it didn't look like the Super Bowl team. Like,
they regressed, and they didn't even have bad running backs backing McCaffrey up. Jordan Mason did a solid job.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He did,
and so did Juwan Jennings coming out.
Juwan Jennings stepped up. George Kittle was healthy most of the year.
They had the talent. I don't know what happened.
The Niners team just they fell off this year hard, and I expect them to be back next year because I still think they're very talented, but it's gonna bite them in the behind that they didn't capitalize on Brock Purdy's rookie deal. Once. I can't wait to see this quote from Tony's Pops on Brian. If he was good, another team would have gotten him a long time ago. That's a very good point. That's a very good point because look, are you watching?
Sorry. Yeah, I was trying to see. I don't think I can like hear myself. Yeah, no, TikTok can't
Good.
hear me. But
Oh, that's weird.
yeah, we'll
I was
we'll
bugging
work
for a
out the
second. I
kinks
was
as we
like,
go. It's
yeah, we'll make it all work. Listen, we're improving each and every week. That's
we're
what this show is
trying
all
to get
about,
this good.
steadily getting better.
Get the
But yeah,
game
as I was saying, Schottenheimer, it's just it's not a good hire. The thing for me that really, and I spoke a little bit on this last time we talked about Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys, they had every opportunity as soon as the season ended to say, all right, McCarthy, we're going our separate ways. We're not going to extend you. We're going to look elsewhere. Okay, fine. Then you can go out and you can interview coaches like Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn and Cliff Kingsbury, whoever else, all these other guys that, were out there as potential head coaches. Instead, you wait until a week or two after the regular season ends and Mike McCarthy's contract is already expired. You're not bringing him back. You told the Chicago Bears that they couldn't interview with him. And then what do? They go get a better head coach or a better option out there in Ben Johnson. This team just had a completely unserious method when it came to this head coaching search. And then they were late to the punch. All the other good coaches already filled up on their interviews. And now it's bad. I'm not surprised it was an in-house promotion, but I would have rather they waited and gotten Kellen Moore back from the Eagles, even though I don't even think he would be a good head coach.
I don't know. Yeah, it's only time will tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
so bad. He's another Jerry Jones puppet. That's all he is. He's a puppet for Jerry Jones. He's going to go out there, do what Jerry wants, say what Jerry wants. And until Jerry Jones steps down, nope. You put your hand down. You put that hand down right now. God damn it! Until Jerry Jones is gone, the Dallas Cowboys will never see another Super Bowl appearance, let alone ring. They're never making it back to a Super Bowl while Jerry Jones is still in charge. Mark my words. His son Steven, okay, I have a little bit less gripe with because he drafts pretty well. Jerry was the one. All right, fine, yeah. Honestly, just the one draft where Jerry Jones wanted to take, yeah, exactly. 8 months before the season, we're already not excited. Oh, Jerry wanted to draft Johnny Manziel back in like 2012. Stephen Jones says, no, we're taking Zach Martin out of Notre Dame. Best draft choice they could have made by far. But I mean, Jerry Jones just running this team into the dirt, and it's ridiculous.
Johnny Football, though. You could have had Johnny Football.
No, and you know what? It probably would have, he would have been a 10-year starter in Dallas and would have gone 4-12 every single year. And Jerry would have been like, well, he's Johnny Football. He's putting fans in the seats. So he's pretty solid.
No, he still would have had a 3-season career. He got out. After he showed face.
Yeah. Tony, good points, buddy. They Cowboys do usually draft decent. You look at some of the guys that they've gotten: Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick. Obviously, you go way back. The draft of Ezekiel Elliott worked out for them for a bit. They've drafted good. Deron Bland, I think, was a 5th or 6th-round selection who has now been an all-pro corner. I mean, they draft decently well. The problem is always they make it to the playoffs and then their coaching turns into something that was thought of by a preschooler. It's like they make it to the postseason and all of a sudden everything's out the window and they're playing like it's Madden. It just, I don't know how they get to that point. I really don't. I thought, not this season, but last season, I thought they really had a decent chance. I thought that team was built to actually win. If Trayvon Diggs was out there healthy, they would have been much better, but you can't give up, what was it, like 28 points right away to the Green Bay Packers they gave up in that wild card round. It was just, it was awful. And, that's what it comes down to. Their coaching is always the issue. They haven't had an actual good Super Bowl winning coach since like Jimmy Johnson, because no good coach wants to come and coach for Jerry Jones. Man, with this and Jimmy Butler, I'm in absolute hell right now. My last few months have went Juan Soto leaves the Yankees to go to the Mets. followed by Jimmy Butler saga in Miami, and now the Dallas
Jimmy
Cowboys
Butler
are
saga.
yeah, and now the Cowboys are simply garbage again. So it's been a rough month for me, a rough couple months. But hey, my Florida Gators, national champions, coming up soon. Just wait.
We'll see.
That's the
We'll
only
see.
sport I care about right now.
I mean, I like when it comes to like teams, like our teams. How did Christian Gonzalez not make the Pro Bowl?
I don't know, man. Probably
Brother,
because
he's
nobody watched the
not.
Patriots play.
I mean, fair, but he's nominated for Comeback Player of the Year, and he's not making the Pro Bowl. But he had like the best corner stats in the league.
I don't know who
Anyway,
is making the Pro Bowl at corner.
You let me know. Well, because if it's someone who shouldn't be there, and Christian Gonzalez isn't there, Christian Gonzalez had a crazy year.
Yeah, that he did. Let's see, AFC roster.
You give up no more than like you give up like more than 50
defense
yards.
Corners. We've got Derek Stingley Jr., Houston Texans, Pat Surtain, Denver Broncos.
Yeah,
who are both the starters. Marlon Humphrey, Baltimore Ravens, and Denzel Ward from the Cleveland Browns are your Pro Bowl corners in the AFC.
Yeah, I'm gonna not.
There.
Yeah, but it's like names. It's like get original. They're just picking people that everybody's known for years.
Yeah, like did Denzel Ward really have a better year than Christian Gonzalez? I can't.
Christian Gonzalez had the best year ever, dude, and I stand by that. But hey, what do I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, let's see, Denzel Ward. Let's see, how did he even do this season? 2 interceptions. These are a bunch of random stats that I don't care about. 45 tackles. I mean, let's see, had 1 forced fumble. I mean, yeah, like solid year now. Let's see, Christian Gonzalez. I mean, I take your word for it that he had a major year.
Right, he only gave up over 50 yards to a receiver like twice all season long.
Yeah, had 2 picks on the year. Yeah, you know, it's I don't know, and you can't even make the case that like it's not like Denzel Ward was a solid corner on a team that won a lot. The Browns didn't win anything either. They had a worse record than the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, fair dues. I just wanted something to argue
about. I know. So Bruce just wants someone to get animated about it.
Yeah, dude. You're getting heated over there. I want to get heated with you.
Well, because we're talking about how much the Cowboys suck, and I feel very strongly about the fact that I would be a better owner than Jerry Jones. I think anybody on the planet would be a better owner
buy the team
than Jerry frickin' Jones. I wish I could. Believe me, I wish I could go to the bank right now and take out a $7 billion loan and buy the Dallas.
Dude, use that podcast money.
Yeah. Listen, we're gonna set up a GoFundMe. All proceeds go to me,
Vinny Fredericks,
but specifically my Dallas Cowboys purchase fund. I won't spend it on anything for me. I will only. Tony, either one of my twin daughters would do a better job. That is facts. That is absolute facts. It's almost like the clip of Joe Shane from Hard Knocks asking his like kids who they should draft when they drafted who did the Giants draft this year in the first round? I don't know why it's escaping me, but
Neighbors?
Neighbors, thank you.
Neighbors.
But his son is telling him that they got to trade up and draft Jaden Daniels because he's that good. Like his son is quoted saying like, you only get this job once, might as well try and win. His son would be a better GM than him. Because I mean, look at what Jaden Daniels did. Not that Malik Neighbors is a great pick for him. He's going to be a great wide receiver once he gets a solid quarterback.
Once he gets out of New York.
Yeah, once he leaves the Giants. As of course, here come the hiccups.
Perfect timing, right?
I know, right? Gotta love live podcasting. But yeah, once Malik Neighbors gets himself a decent quarterback back there, or just leaves New York, he'll be an absolute stud. He already is a stud, but the Giants. I mean Joe Shane's kids wanted them to get Jaden Daniels, and you look at what he did. I mean, granted, you wouldn't have Malik Neighbors, but if they had Jaden Daniels back there, Giants team may have looked much different. But yeah, Tony, I completely agree with you. The Cowboys aren't going to have a good team or coach till Jerry Jones is gone. It's
It be
brutal.
what it
But
be, and
all
it
right,
is what
all
it
right.
is.
Can we move on from the Cowboys? There's other head coaches that have been hired. Okay, like the Las Vegas Raiders just hired Pete Carroll. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, I don't know what Pete Carroll's thinking here. It's a 3-year deal with a 4th-year team option, and he's 73 years old.
I mean,
I don't know
hey,
what.
Belichick came back to UNC, and he's older
Well,
than
yeah,
Pete Carroll.
yeah, but Pete. It's not only just that; it's the fact that of all the teams, out of every coaching opening this offseason, I think most people would agree that the Vegas Raiders was the worst one. They don't have an answer for quarterback. They're not getting that answer at quarterback in the draft. The only upside they have is Brock Bowers. Their defense isn't really that amazing, but outside of Max Crosby. So they have 2 really good players in Brock Bowers and Max Crosby. Besides that, I can't think of a single other upside with this Raiders team. So I don't I get what maybe Pete Carroll wants a challenge. Maybe he just wants to get back into coaching, but
I think he just likes the thrill of the game. I think he just likes to
yeah.
coach.
Yeah, he was still kind of like with the Seahawks organization as some sort of football advisor over the
Yeah,
last few years, but maybe he missed coaching. I can't wrap my head around why he picked Vegas.
someone had
Maybe
to.
maybe Jacksonville didn't want him. I don't really know. Maybe Vegas was the only team that really would have hired Pete Carroll, but either way, it's certainly an interesting hire. But Pete Carroll's got the resume. He's obviously won a Super Bowl. He's one of only 4 head coaches to lead a team to a Super Bowl and a national championship. So he's obviously a good football mind. It's just they have so many holes to fill on this Raiders team, and the biggest one being quarterback. I don't know where they're going to have to go free agency or maybe early second round because where they draft what, like 7, I want to say,
Yeah, they're up there, and I mean,
but
because
not
yeah,
up enough to get a top
O'Connell,
quarterback.
Aiden O'Connell, and Gardner Minshew are not going to cut it. Obviously,
Yeah,
contracts, whatnot. But I mean, hey, Sam Darnold, he'll be out there maybe.
Sam
I mean,
Darnold's out there. Yeah, Russell
it's really when we
Wilson.
come more like as the postseason or at the or like as the Super Bowl wraps up and whatnot, and we kind of get into those teams going into free agency, like finding out who's re-signing. Like that's a fun time because then you can see, you know, this
Yeah,
player is
then
still
things,
available.
the dominoes start rolling, and then things start getting real. But I don't know. Maybe Pete Carroll wants to reunite with Russell Wilson. He's a free agent. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Dude, low key,
Who knows? Who knows?
low key,
It's an option. It is
not a
an
bad
option
shout.
because they're because they're drafting at 6. They're not getting a Cam Ward or a Shador Sanders at 6. I don't see them really trading up. Maybe they go quarterback in the second round if Jalen Milroe falls, or if they really like Dylan Gabriel or Will Howard or something. We'll see. But yeah, Raiders, Pete Carroll. That's certainly an interesting hire over there. Jacksonville Jaguars. They just hired Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was I didn't realize. Apparently, this was like a big story for a second because I guess supposedly Liam Cohen declined the job, told the Bucs he was coming back. Then after the Jags fired their general manager, all of a sudden Liam Cohen changed his mind and then turned around, went and took the Jacksonville Jaguars job. So apparently a lot of people were talking about this and the way that, this kind of 2-day saga happened because apparently the Buccaneers were going to make him one of the highest paid coordinators in the NFL. And out of nowhere, Jacksonville asked him to reconsider and he accepted. So I didn't realize it was such a big story, but
Well, I mean, think about it. If you don't like the way someone's working and they're working with you and, the part of your decision making and especially at something at the level of a professional sport, Like, you're not gonna take a job if you're like, that guy sucks. Like,
Mhm.
you're just not gonna do
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, especially when
they
you already got a
probably
good gig
saw
going.
that. Yeah, exactly. And they probably saw that and were like, all right, bye. Now you want to come? And he was just like, sure, dude, let's run it.
Yeah,
Let's
and
do
I
this.
tell you what, I feel bad for Baker Mayfield because, like, this, Baker was with Liam Cohen in LA with the Rams. He's been with him in Tampa, and especially for a quarterback like Baker who kind of had, a rough start to his career in Cleveland and then had to kind of get himself a resurgence after going to Carolina and LA. Now he's broken out as a great starting quarterback, one of the best in the league. A lot of that can be attributed to the coordinator that he's consistently been with the last few years, and now all of a sudden he's gone. So it's one of those things that it can certainly affect how Baker Mayfield goes in the next season now, and maybe we see him regress a little bit. But I think it's a solid hire for Jacksonville. I think if he can do that with Baker Mayfield, he can definitely get some stuff done with Trevor Lawrence as well.
Trevor Lawrence has just got to stay healthy, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, he's like, remember his rookie season, dude? Jacksonville wasn't terrible.
No, he's had
And
some
then
solid years.
yeah, and he started getting hurt, bro. It's crazy because, like, it feels like it wasn't even that long ago that T-Law came into the league. And wasn't it like 7 years ago?
It was, yeah, we're getting up there to like 7 years. Let's see, he was drafted. When was he drafted? I want to say like
2018?
2018.
Yeah, I'm guessing 2018.
Let's see. I want to say, yeah, 2018. He was,
Yeah.
or wait, no. He was drafted in 2021.
Ah, okay, so he's
That
not as
was
old
that
as I
was when
thought he
he
was.
joined the Jaguars. Yeah.
But 2018 was Mahomes
Yep.
and Josh Allen and Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's right. 2021 was the draft where 5 went in the first round, and yeah, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac
Hey,
Jones.
Mac Jones, baby. He
Mac
was a
Jones.
stud, dude. Now they're together, dude. They're together in Jacksonville.
Oh, man. Well,
Oh,
either way,
what a
good.
time to be alive.
Yeah, I think it's a solid hire for the Jags. All right, moving on. New York Jets hire Lions defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, and I gotta say the immediate vibes from him, I'm ready to buy into the Jets. I mean, he's got to go out and win games, but the press conference that he had when they introduced him, when he's up there and he's saying, "We're the freaking New York Jets. We're built for this shit." Like, damn. Okay,
Yeah,
Coach Glenn.
yeah, but at the same time, you're starting to sound like a Jets fan every year. This is our year, dude. This is our
I
year.
know. He's got to go out and win games. He's got a lot that he's got to figure out, but I think he's the right coach for them. He's a no nonsense guy. He's not going to put up with any of the BS. And he handled that whole interview in a completely different manner than a Robert Saleh would have.
Yeah,
He went up there, he commanded attention, and he showed that he's got balls to take this job, and he knows that there's going to be some scrutiny if they don't do well, and there's going to be a lot of eyes on him, and obviously you have a big question mark at the quarterback position. You don't really know what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, but it's the mentality he has. I'm starting to like it. He really is reminding me of a Dan Campbell type that X's and O's wise. Yeah, on defense, he was great. I don't know how good his offensive mind is, but he's a player's coach. He was a former first round pick of the Jets, and he's already getting them ready to run through a wall. And I think that's something that they didn't have in Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh didn't know how to hype these guys up. I think Aaron
yeah.
Glenn can get these players up to another level.
And I mean, like, just looking at it as a whole, looking at the Jets team on paper, they should not be bad. It's
They
just
have
it's just
talent.
what it is. They have so much talent. And I mean, even Woody Johnson is out here saying he's vowing to be better. It's like, bruh, is
Okay.
this the Aaron Glenn effect? Is this going to become a thing? Like,
Maybe.
he was great. He was great in Detroit. I mean, you said it perfectly. It's going to come down to offensively what happens, like how they
Yeah,
do
they need a
offensively.
good OC.
It's just like, brother, they have the weapons. Like, why are they dog? Like
Yeah, I know.
I don't get it. Like
I know.
both
And I don't
offensively,
even
both
think
sides
their
of the
O-line
ball.
is that bad either. Their O-line was really bad last year, but this year I didn't think they were terrible. They made the effort to go out and improve the O-line. They drafted Olufashani or however it's pronounced. Um and for some reason it sounded like you said X's and O's Y's. uh yeah, X's and O's, Y's. But yeah, like the Jets, they went out, they signed Tyron Smith and who was it? Morgan Moses, I want to say, the veteran tackle. So
Mhm.
they're trying to improve the offensive line, which they needed to do. They need to improve it a little bit
Rodgers had
more, I
so
think.
much
But
time in the pocket this year, though. He like compared to like previous years when they had Zach Wilson, when they
yeah,
when they were just when they didn't have a good quarterback,
yeah,
they
but they couldn't
they
really
didn't
get a
get done in
run
the
game
line.
going. Like Brees
Yeah,
Hall
Brees.
didn't
Yeah.
have the best of years. I mean, he
Well, I
only,
think
let's see, he ran
I
for
think
876 yards.
yeah, but I think a lot of that attributes to Braylon Allen and they bringing him in, and they for some reason forgot how good Brees Hall was. Like Brees Hall he has the potential to be a top 5 running back in the league, and they bring in
Absolutely.
this rookie, and instead of using him as an RB2, they try to pull some Lions, Sonic and Knuckles that they
Yeah.
just can't do.
Yeah, they thought they could have a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery type, which honestly they could. They could still, because I think Braylon Allen is a much, bigger, goal line back
Yeah, but
than
make
Brees
sure you
Hall. But
use your guy. Like they weren't
yeah, use
using
him in the yeah. I mean, they really didn't give him enough opportunities, and it was a very weird year for Brees Hall because he was a guy that a lot of people expected to be, top fantasy running back, and he really
him.
didn't do that much. But right now, there's only one head coach opening left, that of the New Orleans Saints, who kind of similar to the Raiders have a lot of questions. One being the quarterback position. I don't know if Derek Carr has anything left in the tank.
Hey
Spencer
man, I think
Rattler doesn't
Spencer
seem to be the
Rattler's the
answer.
man for the job, dude. I think he's about to take him to the promised land.
I don't know. I don't know if Spencer Rattler has that. Just because he looks like Patrick Mahomes doesn't mean he is Patrick
The
Mahomes.
former Gamecock.
But listen, the New Orleans job is just it's weird. There's not a lot of pros to it. Like according to ESPN, the pro of the New Orleans job is that they have a stable front office with the longest tenured general manager in the league. What does that mean? So the general manager's been there for a long time. So what? So is Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has been around for a very long time. Does that make him the good general manager like the Saints is? I mean, this Saints team is not good. They don't know if Alvin Kamara is coming back. They don't really have. I mean, they do have weapons outside, but Chris Olave gets hurt, and then all of a sudden the offense falls off. The
And then
defense.
Shaheed got hurt. And
Yep. Oh yeah, Rashid Shaheed. He also got hurt. So them getting those guys back will be big, but they also they don't have any salary cap. That's the big con of taking this job, is that they have salary cap issues, from trying to, push back and win now, and it didn't work out. So, they might not really be able to change much about this roster anytime soon. So what, you're just going to hope that a new coach will make Derek Carr good again? I don't see that happening.
yeah, I mean, it's really it all comes down to the off season. There's so much that needs to happen, and just for so many different teams, and
Hmm.
a lot of these teams have potential, but like there's so many teams that just stay cheeks for just years. And it's
Yeah.
just like you have the potential, you're bringing in new guys, you're bringing in new front office, you're bringing whatever, yada yada, and then you're still just dog. And it's I don't understand it. It's the NFL. Like figure it out. It's not that hard.
I know. For us on Madden,
Right,
it's not
right.
hard at
I
all.
know, right? I would know how hard it is. It's not that hard.
Oh man. All right. Well, this hour just completely flew by.
Yeah, dude.
I
I
did
didn't
not
even
realize
realize
it's
it was
already
going
about
for an hour.
to be 12 noon. And I mean, we quite literally just talked about football today. So listen, on Thursday for the Thursday show, we'll get into the basketball and
The hockey,
all the other
maybe.
big news going on. Yep. and excited. We got a guest coming on Friday. Our boy Ryan from college, so that'll be good. We'll talk to him about his little NFL job he's been doing out in California, which looks awesome. So excited to hear his thoughts on that. But very quick hour that just kind of flew by, and thank you everybody. Thank you everybody that tuned in. Tony, appreciate you hopping in the chat. Always supporting. Really appreciate that. If you guys are on YouTube, hit that subscribe, hit that bell, or as Bruce likes to say, ding the bell.
Ding the bell.
Toss down a like. You're on Twitch. Hit us with a follow and a like. Only takes 2 seconds out of your day, but
TikTok
means a lot to us.
Drop a follow too, because we're on TikTok now.
Yes, sir. We are on TikTok now. Hit up all the socials. We'll have clips on TikTok, Instagram at The Regular Fan Show. We'll be getting more active on Twitter when more news is breaking throughout the week. So hit us up on all of our socials.
Two-man job right now. We're trying to make it work. We're doing our best out here. And you know what, Bruce? We're getting better week by week. So as always, it was a great time, my friend. We'll do this again Thursday morning. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. And Bruce, I found my basketball. Yes, dude. I was gonna ask you pre-show, but I completely forgot.
You can see it's been a little chewed up. It's been a little chewed up by the troublemaker who's currently sleeping on my bed. But I don't know if you can tell from this angle, Bruce, but this is a very tiny basketball.
Does it fit through the hoop? Does it go?
And that's a very tiny hoop. It does fit through the hoop. It does indeed fit.
You hit think about it. This is how Vinny. This is how legends are made. This is where you can take Jimmy Butler's position. This is where you can bring the Miami Heat to the promised land by making this shot right here.
Thank you, Bruce, for your words of encouragement. That's all I needed to hear. All right, here we go. Tyler Hero, pull up 3 for the win. Just wide left. Next time we'll get it down. Next time we'll get it down as I know, dude. Because it's like I'm kind of far away too. I'm all the way across my room. I gotta really sling that thing. Let's see, Bruce with the shot. All right. We'll get back in the lab. We'll get back. We'll be back at it on Thursday. We'll get these shots in. Again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Tony in the chat. Always supporting. We appreciate it. Like I said, hit us up on socials. Hit that subscribe, that like button, that follow, and ding that bell.
Ding the bell. Yep. Follow the socials. Take care, everybody. Peace out. We love you.
Later,
Until next time.
Be good. Until Thursday.
Yes.